Hey friends, and welcome to another colour along. Today we are colouring from Awake, and we're colouring this page, Bachelor Pad's morning routine, with our two bachelor frogs on their pads. This one's stretching, that one's having a cup of coffee and maybe breakfast. And I have drawn a circle around here because I just want to contain where the water goes. So it's just lightly in pencil. And I might start with my water. And I'm going to use my Ohuhus. And this is a colour called Frost. I'm going to start out with, I do have a sheet of paper and a sheet of acetate under this page to protect the page below it. I'm just going to get my frost into all of these little water things, the indications of water that are happening around here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Well, welcome to June. We're rolling through this year so quickly. It's astonishing to me. And we're at June already, which means we're rolling into Christmas, which is a crazy thought. All right, I'm moving on to a different colour. This is colour card Arctic Blue. All right, we've given ourselves a nice blue base to work from. Now I'm going to start concentrating. Let's maybe do the lily pads next. All right, I've got a colour here, and it's called Vivid Green. Now this is from my old set of Oahus from Ohuhu, and these have the old numbering system. If you go to the Ohuhu website, there is a support column where you can type in this number, and I'll give you what the new number is in the new sets, which is a useful thing to know. What is this one? This one's Vivid Green. I'm going to give them a lighter edge and a darker inside. And this is a colour called Dark Green. I'm going to do the inside of my lily pad in that dark green. Right, let's look at our frogs. I've got this colour, it's a sort of greeny yellow, celery yellow it's called. And I think what we need to do is like the webbed feet of the frog and the belly of the frog. Maybe we'll do some sort of blending down from the different parts of the frog. Certainly think maybe we should get some of that colour up here. Right, we're just going to match that on this frog. This one's right into it. It's got its water bottle and it's doing its stretching. This guy's just having a cup of coffee. I guess he's stretching his tongue. We certainly need to have his tummy that colour as well. I think I'm going to do some of that green in here. All right. Hang on, what about some on his inner thigh? All right, moving on to a slightly darker colour. This is called apple green. All right, I'm going to my thicker nib. Right, this is a colour called seedling green, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of shadows here and there. All right, let's look at our little lilies. I'm going to do them vibrant colours. Let's go with the pink. This is vivid pink, just because. I'm going to do one pink maybe and one yellow. Maybe this one's pink. Lovely. And now I've got this colour. It's a bit darker. It's called vivid reddish purple. And I think that would just give us a nice little shadow lines underneath on our vivid pink. And you know what I think we're going to, while we've got this vivid pink out, we're going to go to his tongue. And that's our reddish, vivid reddish purple. All right, let's talk about this water bottle. Well, we've got our vivids out. Let's give that a red top with our two colours that we've just been using. All right, let's move on to our yellows. I've got pastel yellow for this. And a bit darker, just a straight yellow will give us some nice subtle shadows to work with there. All right, let's talk about frost. Let's get some frost happening because we've got our water bottle here. Should make that sort of blue. I'm going to play with our Arctic blue, which was the other colour we used for the background here. I'm thinking we need to get some. What's a frog drinking? Drinking water so much as it's drinking some sort of pond scum-like substance. All right, I'm going to bring that Arctic blue back in because I think the little body of our dragonfly could look good in that Arctic blue. There's a base. And then let's put in some of our celery yellow, some mix. And then I think I'm going to bring that light blue in, that frost blue. For those wings, right, this is a colour called mallow, sort of like this pink but lighter. And then we've got this colour called purple mallow, just to add some shadows in. And I think the same for this map. I think this should be a nice bright yoga mat. And this is the purple mallow, and it's going to give us a lovely shadow to work with underneath our frog. And what I think I'm also going to do is add some of that mallow to the centre of our flowers. And while I've got it out, I want to just bring in a little bit here. Maybe a little bit in his legs. All right, we're getting there, guys. What have we got to do now? Let's look at their eyes for a minute. And I've got a blue-grey 11. It's really light blue-grey. I just want to put some shadow. Their eyes are very stark, so I think if we give them some shadow on their eyes, and the same with this guy, that's going to help our colours. I'm going to bring back my purple mallow for a second just to put a shadow in the centre of our lilies. I think what we need now is some white. This is a jelly roll. Just got a little bit of a bleed in his eyes there, so I'm going to white that out. And then I'm going to just highlight things so it's get right up the edge. That's a fun highlight. But if you've got a body you want to glisten, sort of pull it in a bit. That's what I find. Do that, then it looks like it's sort of all glisteny, which can be a fun effect. All right, so we've got the light sort of coming from here because all our shadows are falling there. Let's continue on with that. Let's get our whites, our highlights going here. I want my frogs to be especially glisteny, so I'm going for and this frog as well. Some highlights up their arm and on their eyelids. And a bottle's going to do with some highlights, and just going to do some of this. Make it look like it's one of those see-through plastic gym bottles. Alrighty. Now, the black key lines around here, you could probably leave them, but I'm wondering what it's going to look like if I get rid of them. So let's try that. You know, I think that looks good. So what I'm going to do is quickly go ahead and just do all that. And I shall see you on the other side. Then I think some little splash indicators. You could probably wait when you do yours for your ink to dry. But of course I'm very impatient, so I've now smudged that. And you know what, I think we're going to call that one finished. It's such a fun and simple one for today. Bachelor Pads morning routine. Markers with a little bit of highlighter at the end. But I'm happy with the result. You know, sometimes you just need a quick colour along, don't you? And asleep and awake are both great value for that. Well, I'm done. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed colouring along today with me. No doubt I shall see you in another video. But until then, I'm going to say goodbye. See you later.